introduce the new student. The next one is Tatiana Shizbina with the topic.
The topic is the competitive analysis of the demand elasticity in the agricultural products market.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and of course members of Final State Commission. I would like to present my topic of diploma thesis, which is called Competitive Analysis of the Demand Elasticity in the Agricultural Products Markets. And first of all, I would like to introduce my tasks of this diploma thesis, and these tasks are the first one to generalize the theoretical experience of researchers, to uncover definitions such as price elasticity and demand, to carry out the research of demand price elasticity in the Russian Federation and in China, to make predictions and explanations for the future situations of both countries. And the practical importance of this topic is the following. This work consists in the possibility of using the research results in the university practice of studying such fields as macroeconomics and microeconomics, and obtaining results. I can introduce it for Russian economy and for Chinese economy in case of the development future situation in agricultural markets. And as for methods, I used quantitative methods as trend model and multifactorial correlation and regression models. These methods are going to be econometrics. And as for the theoretical part, I have concluded that demand is the ratio of the relative increment of a function to the relative increment of the independent variable. And in accordance to this, we have two types of elasticity, elastic and inelastic. In theoretical practice, we have the third one, which is the single elasticity, but in this work it wasn't mentioned because we don't need it for agricultural products. And as for elastic products, we need these products should be available of substitute products in the market. It's really important when we have time factor. And the share of expenditures for goods in the consumer budget, the degree of saturation of the market with such goods. As for inelastic, we need here to mention such factors as the consumer attaches great importance to the characteristics of the goods. The consumer wants to have the unique goods, and this person is willing to pay for it, and it doesn't matter how much does it cost. And the consumer has significant savings from using a particular goods or service. Yeah. As for analytical part, we have constructed tables for investments in Russian agriculture and for Chinese agriculture. And as can be seen, this table starts from 2009 till 2017, as for Russia and as for China accordingly. And we can see in Russia there is increase in investments, and nowadays it is about 3,500 rubles for investments. And as for China, nowadays it's 8,000 rubles for their agriculture. So we can compare that these countries pay a lot of attention to their agriculture. They increase investments, but situations are different in each country. And so we, in this case, I would like to compare these two countries, because these countries, they are main players on agriculture spheres. So they produce quite similar products. In my research, I took care of such products as wheat, rice, and milk. And I have made econometric modeling with linear regression. There are some, I don't know, I think you don't see these coefficients and results, but they are both for constructing models. And also I have put here some variables for construction, such as prices for wheat, for rice and milk, and quantity of rice, milk, and wheat. And the sources were Federal Service State Statistics and National Bureau of Statistics in China. So all of resources are official. And in results, I have constructed such elasticity trends for Russia and Chinese markets. And as we can see, Russia have tendencies that milk is not elastic, because milk doesn't change, prices for milk don't change a lot. So people would like to buy cheaper products, for example wheat. And so prices for wheat, they are really changeable. And for example, wheat is elastic product, because if, for example, today the price is 1, for example 1, yeah. So people want to buy today, but tomorrow it can be 2, so people will not buy. So in case of wheat, people can buy another product. So that's the problem. It's elastic because people can change one product by another product. As for milk, they can't change. So in this case, it is inelastic. The same situation in China, but for them, elastic product is rice, because they prefer to buy rice, not wheat. But rice is elastic, because today they can buy, tomorrow they will not buy, because of prices. Milk is also inelastic, because the price for milk is quite stable. And as for analytical part, I have concluded some interesting tendencies. For example, in Russia and of course in China. In Russia we have following tendencies. The most popular product is wheat. The most expensive product is milk. The cheapest product is wheat. The most unpopular product is rice. Huge investments are made in agriculture machinery by government. Governmental policy is focused on food security. Increasing the competitiveness of Russian products in the domestic and foreign markets are going to be nowadays. And as for Chinese agricultural market, here we have the most preferable product is rice, the most expensive product is milk, the cheapest product is wheat. Huge investments are made in agriculture. Government supports for small farmers, but and this we don't have in Russia in the common place. Our government supports, but in not so huge amount of money, amount of grants, for example. But in Chinese market, government takes a lot of grants and loans for small farmers in case for development their market. And of course, Chinese government takes a lot of care of training and technology development. That is quite similar for Russian agricultural market and Russian government. And there are some conclusions. So the theoretical experience of researchers is generalized. The demand-price elasticity of agrarian products is calculated and explained. The analysis of the current state of agriculture in Russian Federation and in China is made. And the forecasting in the demand-price elasticity and its prediction is done. And there are some sources which I have used. All of them are statistics like European statistics, Russian Agriculture Policy Review, Federal Service of State Statistics, and National Bureau of Statistics of China. And thank you for your attention. If you have questions, you are welcome to ask me.
I ask one question. Tatiana, thank you so much for very interesting presentation, very interesting and well-made presentation. And my question is the following. How could you describe the term elasticity of a market?
So the elasticity of market, we have like, for example, it takes care of price changes. For example, we have instability in prices, and today the price for one product is 1, for example, tomorrow is 2. We can't predict the price, but we can follow the trend. For example, some years. And we, for example, have elasticity when price changes. And people want, for example, tomorrow is low price, so I will buy tomorrow. Today, for example, tomorrow is high price, I will not buy. So consumers are willing to buy cheaper products than products with lower price, high prices. So this is elasticity. When we don't have the stable preference of consumers. They are willing to, this is like the percentage of their willingness to pay, like this one. So this is the elasticity.
Okay, thank you. Questions at all?
Yes, you are comparing two markets, Chinese and Russian. Can you explain why do you choose these countries? Do you see any resemblance in their experience?
I haven't had any experience in Chinese market. I wasn't in China, but I have read a lot of articles, a lot of news, and I have seen that these two main players, Russia and China. And so, in accordance with this fact, I would like to compare these two biggest, I think the biggest countries in this area, because Russia makes a lot of deals abroad, as China makes it. So they have common ground for comparison. And they have quite common ground in case of governmental support, in loans, in grants, in investments. So because of this fact, I decided to compare these two markets.
Okay, thank you very much for the research that has been mentioned.